Oh, hi. We didn't do podcast last week and now I've forgotten what the words are to start a podcast.
That's fine. Just go, how high?
Oh, hi.
How high?
That's the way it's done. I like it. What?
Sure.
Anyway, welcome back to the podcast listeners. First things first, this is one of the last podcasts ever. It actually is. This is episode 235. In one of the previous episodes, we decided we would get to episode 300, do a special, and then finish permanently. We'll stop uploading things, and we're going to do something else instead. Last week, we went to do the podcast, and we just couldn't be asked at all.
It had just completely been drained from us all of the, I don't know, gumption.
Yeah, it's just the thing is, and we're gonna get to evil Mr. Beast. We're gonna get to riots in the country. We'll get to all that shit. Yeah, the problem is that, and I've said before, there's when it comes to how much positivity uploading things to internet's had versus how much shit has been, it's not worth it. It's just not been worth it. Yeah. And you know, people like YouTubers or whatever will say, oh, I were uploading for fucking 84 years, like that old granny meme, before anything kicked off. And the amount of time they quote is how long I've been fucking uploading shit. So it's there's it's not worth it basically. But we're gonna get to episode 250 instead, rather than 300. And that will be the big finale. Just so we know, some ideas that I've had already. Don't look, Judd, because there's some spoilers here.
God.
I thought we could do some knockoff versus real versions of booze.
Okay.
A look back at some of the stuff we did on the previous specials. Some of the, I'll get some highlights or whatever.
All right. Okay.
And then presents.
That's good.
That's what ideas I've got so far, but there might be some more stuff too. Right. Wing riots have been going on through the...
That was great.
No, I wanted to start with Mr. Beast.
Oh, right-wing Mr. Beast riots, I see.
Yeah, the right-wing Mr. Beast riots. I'm trying to change the fucking thumbnail on this stream, and it's not working. I changed it once, and then it was like, oh, you can't change it again. Soz. Well, I've tried again. Hopefully that works. Judd's knocking
I'm just
stuff
knocking
over.
shit over on your desk.
So, Mr. Beast, do you remember what I told you last time about what's gone on with him and all his shit?
Yeah, you told me he was the devil and he needs to, be burnt at the stake. What you said.
Okay. Well, what I actually said was, what I will tell you as I turn on the other light, for fuck's sake. This is one of the reasons, honestly, when all you get is negativity from doing this shit, and it's so much effort as it is, there's no wonder we don't want to do it anymore. So, basically, this guy, former Mr. Beast employee, came out with an expose video. I was telling you about it when we decided to go to the cinema instead of doing podcasts last week. Deadpool and Wolverine, pretty good movie. And basically, the allegations that came out was faking videos, which even in the video it was well, they're not fake necessarily, or rigging, because it was oh, it's CGI, and we were yeah. I thought isn't that the point? He accused a raccoon of being a paid actor, which is a hilarious thought. Rigging videos, which was shown in the videos, so it weren't. Also, it's Mr. Beast's channel. It's a Mr. Beast video. He's gonna make what he wants to happen in the video happen. It's not like it were ever touted, to be fair. It's a Mr. Beast video. What you're doing is working with Mr. Beast to make an entertaining video. Now, it looks like a game show because that's the premise of this entertaining video. But come on. You're a bit dumb if you think that it's got to be completely fair just because it's a Mr. Beast video. And then the worst accusations from that were fake signatures on signed clothing, which Mr. Beast didn't necessarily know about, but happened, evidence. But again, when it was kind of presented as an expose, it's out there. He did a fucking live stream. It's not like we saw it already. Like, and then illegal lotteries. One sec. Let's just let this police car go past.
It's probably on its way to a far right riot.
It actually might be.
The Mr. Beast.
How is it still going? It's still there. Where is it?
Oh, I think it's here for us.
What have we done? Oh, we're talking about Mr. Beast.
Oh no! He set the
no, but
Roxas on
seriously,
us.
how is it? It's still going. Oh, as soon as Juds went to look at it, it started fading away.
What is that? I'm sure this makes for great listening.
But seriously, how could we hear it for that long?
Anyway.
So yeah, apparently he did illegal lotteries for children, which consisted of him putting money, Xboxes, really cool prizes in some of his T-shirt packages. Oh no! Oh, get him! Lock him up! He gave some people some prizes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's basically the devil. Fuck off. I don't get, like, technically, it probably was illegal, but it shouldn't fucking be illegal. It's ridiculous. It's so silly. I ended up arguing with some people on Reddit about this.
As you do.
I'm not even going to open Reddit ever, so far as I'm concerned now.
I think that's good, yeah.
But it was... I don't care if it's illegal or not. And the kind of analogy I gave you as well is it was illegal to be gay once. And, like, we're all cool with that now. So it's ridiculous to say, oh, it's illegal, therefore it's bad. That's not how it works. So I think it's insane. Like, people, the worst thing that could happen of him putting some prizes in some packages that kids might buy, and might, by the way, it's not like it's for kids. And you could say it's tailored towards kids, but it's not. It's tailored towards everyone, and that includes kids too, sure, whatever. But worst case scenario is they don't get an Xbox and they get the T-shirt they pay for. Oh, it might have a fake signature on it.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
It's basically clubbing baby seals, isn't it? It's about as bad as that. I wish he'd have just gone and raped some kids instead, because that would have been worse.
I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
It's because it's ridiculous, though, isn't it? I obviously don't wish that. But it's like, saying that that's bad is fucking pathetic. And I think the first video was dumb. It was dumb as fuck. There's been a second video from the same guy.
From the looks of it, there's been a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth.
No, it's because, like, loads of people have made videos off the back of this original one. So there's been a second video, basically.
A second video has hit the tower, Mr. President.
In terms of Mr. Beast, it is like that.
Yeah.
But there's much worse stuff in this second video. And it makes me think, why are we, like, spending an hour talking about giving prizes to people, saying, like, and you'll get a cookie, even though it's not going to give him the cookie, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, why did he wait so long to put this second video out and drop that first one with a bunch of shit in it? Because in this second one, he's got firing employees who need the money and not paying them right.
Yeah.
Asshole thing to do. And whether he did that directly or not, I guess he's still responsible because it's his company, so that could dampen that. Here's another thing, right?
Yeah.
Jasmine's got clients for hairdressing today.
Ah, I see.
Really annoying.
I get it, yeah.
Because I want to talk about things like paedophiles right now, but I can't. And they're at the door right now.
Not the paedophiles,
Not
the clients.
Yeah, and they definitely just heard you say that.
Yeah.
So, do you know what? Fall for booking it. It's Thursdays. So basically, the other thing is, the manager that he appointed and was friends with to start with was a convicted sex felon.
Oh, okay, jeez.
Much worse.
Yeah.
Like, what's been going on here?
This feels like that Nickelodeon documentary where like the first 3
Exactly.
episodes were like sort of like a bit weird stuff, and then out of nowhere it was like child sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first episode, it's like, ooh, he liked women to massage him.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, bit odd, maybe. It's like, and this other guy raped a bunch of people and had a cave full of child porn, and then this guy bought someone some flowers when they didn't want it.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it's like, hello?
Yeah.
But do you know what the problem with that is? It makes me think, like, why are you making these videos? Like, what's the intent behind this? Because if you've got a weird intent, then how believable is this?
Yeah.
You know? Because at this point, there's some bits in the second video he came out with that makes me want to, like, that actually is pretty believable and is quite bad.
Yeah.
So this is a thing as well. Like, I had an opinion on this before, which was very pro Mr. Beast, and that video was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Now more evidence. Now I'm like, not so sure anymore.
Yeah.
This seems pretty like I'm probably gonna be a bit more anti Mr. Beast now.
Okay.
Because, like, you know, literally, the craziest thing is they literally knew that. Well, I suppose technically we don't know that Mr. Beast knew, but it really looks like it. So this guy who was managing his company, they never referred to him by his name. They always referred to him as, I think it's Delaware.
Yeah.
And because he was involved in the company and stuff, he had to be in the videos at certain points. Whenever he was in any of the videos, they would put a ski mask on him
Oh.
to hide his face.
Wow. Okay.
It's like, why are you hiding this guy's face,
Yeah.
who is on the sex offenders register,
Yeah.
if you don't know that he's on the like that
Yeah.
correlates too much.
Yeah.
You know, so that's like,
Yeah.
you know, now to play kind of devil's advocate, because I'm playing that against myself. That's bad. That's really bad.
Yeah.
And I at this point now I'm like, okay, that is evidence that you should have started with. Hello.
Yeah.
I guess, like, there's kind of like, you should potentially have an attitude of being able to reform people. If we're going to send people to prison, and then they serve their time and they come out of prison, the idea of that is that they're reformed and they don't want to do any crimes ever again.
Yeah.
Right? So if they then come out and we still just fully persecute them for the crimes that they did, that's kind of like,
Yeah.
it's not massively playing into the justice system. Now, I'm not saying I agree with being like that, with kind of thinking, right, you're supposed to be reformed now, we'll give you more chances. I don't think like that for paedophiles, personally.
Yeah.
But the thing is as well, it's not been released what he did at all. It's just been like suggested. People have spread rumours about it who would definitely know whether it was real or not. So again, it's all like, there's still actually no evidence for any of these claims, honestly. The funny thing for me was, you've not watched much Mr. Beast, have you?
No, not really.
Well, there was this guy called Wettle in some of his videos, and he was kind of like, you could tell he wanted to be a comedian and into kind of maybe stand-up comedy and stuff. You know, like when you've seen Taskmaster before, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know when the comedians are doing tasks for the Taskmaster,
Yeah.
and they kind of act a certain way to kind of be funny while they're doing the tasks and stuff. He kind of had a similar vibe of acting a certain way when he was participating in a Mr. Beast video.
Yeah.
And you could tell that. So I remember the videos with him in them and thinking that he was kind of funny, but like, I could totally see how people could find him annoying.
Yeah.
And in this second video, it's basically just a big interview with him. He was a writer for Mr. Beast as well, and participated in some videos and things like that. Now, he was a writer, and this other guy was a writer as well. And this other guy got paid less than him. This other guy had a kid as well, and he was black apparently. And I think it was kind of hinted by this Wettle guy that like maybe they didn't want to pay him as much because he was black. He didn't say that, but he kind of just gave that as context in case you thought it was right to infer that, which I think is the right way to do that too. So basically, at some point, they ended up going to the manager of them and saying, "Look, why is this guy paid less than me? I don't think that's very fair."
Yeah.
And they fired both of them.
Oh, okay.
Just fired them both.
No, all right.
Which ended up being a good thing, but I don't know. It's just kind of seems shitty that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. So that's something that happened. But mostly, they talked about the cut video that this guy participated in after he got fired. So he got fired, and then they called him up at some point because he'd not talked shit about him after being fired. Called him up saying, "Will you be in this video?" And the video was, let me see if I can get it up. It never got published with him in it, but they did it with a different contestant.
Okay.
Was it this one? No. Was it this one? Ooh, where is it? Where is it? There's one. I don't know which video it is. This is not great content. I'm going to be honest. I really wish I could find it because I don't know. I can't find it right now. But basically, it was a video where a guy would be kind of trapped in a room full of like cool shit.
Yeah.
And every day or every 10 days or something, he had to give up something in the room. But each day he was in there, it would gain 10 grand for being in there. So that's kind of the concept of it. But it's like basically solitary, it's meant to be. Now, this Wettle guy did that first, and they had to cut the video and do it with someone else. But I have to say, personally, he came across as such a whiny bitch about having doing this video. Because he found it really hard, because they wouldn't turn the lights off. Is one of the big things that he talks about. And he couldn't sleep. He couldn't sleep at all because they wouldn't turn the lights off. And apparently they said, we can't turn the lights off because we want the time-lapse shots between days and things like that. And they tried to make out like that breaks even the Geneva Convention in terms of like torturing terrorists.
Okay.
But I don't think it probably doesn't, is the thing, because they showed like the bit of the Geneva Convention on screen that is, and it's forced sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
So it's not leaving lights on.
Yeah.
It's like forcing people not to be able to sleep. So like if I left these lights on and you tried to sleep on that bed over there, and you couldn't get to sleep because it was a bit too bright, it's not so much that. It's more if you did drop to sleep and I went, wake up!
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no sleeping!
Yeah.
You know? So he could, if he could get to sleep, they weren't going to go in and go, no sleeping!
Yeah.
You know, so it's not quite the same. I'm pretty sure that that's not. Now, whether that's okay or not is different. Like, it maybe wasn't, they maybe should have allowed the lights to go off, potentially. But I also saw a video where the guy who does Vsauce chose to do that as like an experiment.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it was just a bit, And then one of the other major things that happened to him in there was obviously they give him challenges and shit to earn more money or whatever. One of the things that Mr. Beast wanted him to do was run a marathon. Because one of the things was a treadmill in there.
Okay.
And now, he'd obviously been on his own this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He weren't getting a lot of sleep, but I think that was a lot to do with the lights and stuff like that, and cameras being on all the time. It seems like he has problems, this guy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently his dad he's in prison for being a nonce as well.
Oh Jesus!
This
fucking Christ.
contestant,
Yeah.
right? So it's like I think he seems fucked up anyway.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's really more what happened. But he tried to run this marathon. So like for example, Mr. Beast like, and you're gonna run a marathon, and then like on camera, he's like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm sorry, like Jimmy, I really don't want to do that. And then Mr. Beast is like, well, just do it for the camera, like, come on. Which I think is fair enough. He can not do it. He can fail at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's not, like, forced to run a marathon on a treadmill at gunpoint.
Yeah.
He can, like, say, well, I'll give it a go. And he can, like, run 10 miles or whatever and then go, no, I absolutely can't do this. I'm going to have to forfeit the money. And then that's still a good bit in the video. Like, and like I say, Mr. Beast only said, please, will you, like, try it for the camera. Like, I think it's a bit of a dick thing to do. To turn up and do this video, be presented to one at challenges and go, no. And not even try and do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Even if you know, I'm not going to be able to do this, but I'm just going to do, like, 5 miles for the camera or something like that. What's the harm in that? It's ridiculous. And so, I don't know. I'm probably missing some details out. One of the things that happened was that Mr. Beast kind of said, something like keeping you locked in jail to this guy like your dad. Shitty joke to someone who you don't know, isn't it? Like, that's a really, like... I can empathise, though, because if you're not socially aware enough to know how much you're friends with someone, you can accidentally do a joke like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of... I can relate to that sort of scenario, but I don't know. I don't know that that's the case with him. It comes across as a shitty joke to make, really, especially when this guy's like locked in isolation for potential of 100 days as a result of doing a video for you.
Yeah.
So I could understand why he was starting to get pissed at him, though. That might have slipped out as like a bit of an aggressive thing, because if he's like, oh no, I don't want to do the challenge.
Yeah.
Like, be annoying me as well. And another thing was, he was saying that because he's on camera 24/7, even though he was feeling like shit because he's isolated and not getting any sleep on that, he's still doing bits and still doing funny things for the camera and stuff like that. I'm thinking, don't then. You were never told to.
Yeah.
Like, you just decided that you have to do that for 100 days straight.
Yeah.
If you watch any of the other, like, kind of, there's been Mr. Beast's last video was 2 people in an underground bunker for 100 days. And they would win 600k.
Yeah.
As a result of it, if they did. And they actually ended up winning more because they did some challenges and that. They weren't doing bits all the time and that. They were being normal fucking people who were in this situation.
Yeah.
There were a guy who was trapped in a shopping mall for however long he could last. And he would gain money as a result of it. And all he had to survive was all the stuff in the shopping mall. He weren't doing bits all the time. He was like entertaining himself. And they bring challenges for him, which was the entertainment part of the video. It's like, it's ridiculous that he's saying if he was like, almost like he was forced to do like comedic bits for 100 days straight. No one told him to do that. He's dumb. It's so weird. Oh, now the client's arrived. No one say paedophiles. No one say rapist. No one say cock and balls. I'm going to wait for him to come through the door because we've got the window open and they'd be able to hear me. So here they come. Let's wait for the door to be shut before we all start screaming paedophiles.
Definitely don't say nonce.
Definitely don't shout nonce really loud. Anyway, okay. So, basically, the guy... So before he went in, this producer that had called him up and kind of asked him if he wanted to do this video says, if you go for 100 days, you'll obviously make $1 million, like in theory.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that if you really don't want. Just do like about 30 days. We'll get enough video out of it, and then you'll earn about 300k. Now, he didn't last 30 days.
Yeah.
He lasted like 11.
Okay.
Which don't leave them with a great video at all.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Beast is then like, oh well, at least you can, go away with the money that you earned from being here. So he still gave him over 100k.
Yeah.
Now in this second video, they're like, oh, I can't believe he didn't give you that 300k they promised you. What?
Yeah.
They promised him 10k a day for the challenge.
Yeah.
And they gave him more than that because they introduced some other challenges.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I can't believe that one of the points in this video is, and there was 200k they didn't even ever give him.
Yeah.
What the fucking... honestly, people are ridiculous. And again, this is the majority of video. It's like, wee woo, there's pedophiles here. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Why are we not focusing on this?
Yeah.
It blows my mind. It blows my mind. And now, it just makes it harder to be on the side of these people who are actually showing some serious shit that we should probably pay attention to. It's so weird. And what blows my mind even more with it all is that I'm in the minority with all these opinions compared to what I've seen on the internet. I've uninstalled and got rid of a lot of social media lately. Because along with this and discussions of like other shit, especially Reddit is awful. Reddit is the worst community, like the worst commenters in social media I've ever known.
Yeah.
People complain about Twitter in terms of toxicity and stuff like that. Fuck off. Reddit's the worst. Reddit is by far the worst. Twitter's shit too. Twitter's really shit too. Actually, they're all really terrible, but Reddit is the worst. So yeah, that's the Mr. Beast scenario. If there's any kind of serious allegations from the third video, I'll tell you. But he'll probably talk about some crap for about an hour instead again. Oh, anyway, Mr. Beast. He's evil? Question mark? Probably not. But probably needs to answer for some shit. That's the summary. Riots. And we're going to call them riots because for some reason the government wants to call them public protests. But they're riots.
I've seen them call riots more than public protests.
Yeah, but the government's calling them protests.
I haven't seen
Do you know
that.
why?
Why?
I saw on the news why.
Yeah.
Someone let slip on the news why. Because if they're officially labelled as riots, the government is legally obligated to help out businesses and stuff that gets trashed.
Okay, nice.
So if it gets to the level of riot, then they'll help out. But it's not quite a riot, it's just a public disturbance.
Okay.
Fucking
so
bastards, all of them.
All right.
What's your impression? What do you think, Judd? Tell us what you, as someone who doesn't really have any social media that he follows and doesn't watch the news, just paints models. What you.
Well, I mean, I feel like the worst person in the world to talk about this, but I don't necessarily have a take on it really. Apart from just the public. What am I trying to say? The fucking destruction to public property is not nice, not great, not fun.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's not fun. It's not nice. Yeah.
Actually, that's not a weird take.
Yeah. I don't really have anything new to say on it. Do I have to go over why the riots are happening or?
Well, what? It's actually hard to know why.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Really? It's kind of got a bit muddled up.
So I think the whole thing is there was a big stabbing case that happened not too long ago.
I need to look into this actually, but you carry on.
Where I think 10 little girls and a dance teacher were stabbed. Three of the girls ended up dying, and the dance teacher ended up dying. And this has all sort of been used in a way to like sort of spark riots. Like basically people are saying, oh well, this is because of the migrant crisis, and we've got so many migrants coming over, which I think somebody, when the stabbings first happened, was saying, oh, the guy was a Muslim, the guy who did it was like a Muslim oriented thing or whatever, but it turned out he actually wasn't Muslim at all. He was Rwandan. He just
But that's not the...
Yeah.
Okay, no, carry on. I'll chime in when you're done.
That's pretty much it. So there's been a load of riots over, like, specifically at hotels that have been housing migrants. And I've heard that there's been riots at mosques and stuff. I've not actually seen any riots at mosques, but I've heard that there has been some.
So, weird thing, right?
Yeah.
I got told, I didn't know about that because I'd already uninstalled Reddit and everything by this point. So I knew the riots were happening. And by the way, one of probably the most, broadcasted and publicised riots, like individual riots, part of kind of all of them going off, that's happened in the country, is, you know, I don't really know how to phrase this. It's kind of like, it's in a place that we know plenty about. I don't need to say much more. So there's a hotel in Rotherham that was attacked. That's probably the most broadcasted one. And me in particular, I know quite a bit about that area. Actually, I even filmed there once for part of when I was doing my boxing training and stuff like that. Well, it's next to a big lake, basically. Well, it's actually really close to this big lake, and I filmed in the lake. So I know a lot about that area. So I'll say that to start with, and then Jasmine told me about the stabbing thing that happened, and told me about that it was someone from Rwanda and things like that.
Yeah.
It made sense why that kind of could be part of the trigger for these riots happening, because there's been unease in our country for a while about immigration, hasn't there? There is in lots of countries all the time. Immigration's a really, like, I don't know, catalysing subject. I don't know, is that a good way to phrase it? I'm not sure. But this can't help. You know, if like people are already like, God, there's a lot of kind of immigration happening, feeling like some strain as a result of it, and then a foreign person stabs a bunch of children, it's like, I can see how that.
It's not just.
I'm not saying it would spark me, but I can see the link.
It's not just that case either. Like there were another case of like a soldier who was in full uniform being stabbed to death by like a guy who'd come over. You know, it happens all the time. Like grooming gangs, shit like that. Like it's always coming up.
And that's not to say that that's where the crime in the country comes from. I mean, some of it will. A lot of it will come from natives of the country and things like that. But the point is, the fact that some of it comes from foreign people as a result of immigration, because it has to be, that's how foreign people got here, then it means that that's bad. And it's like, so that's what's happened. Weirdly, I was talking to my grandma about this earlier, and she said that actually they found out that it was like some 17-year-old white guy.
Was he white? Oh, okay.
I don't think so, though.
Okay.
That's not what I heard either.
I heard he was Rwandan.
Yeah. It don't really matter. The point isn't what skin colour or race they were or anything like that. The point is that everyone was pretty sure they were foreign.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, to tie into, when it ties to immigration and people's issues they've had with that, that's kind of what sparked it in theory. But it's not just that, because at the vigil for these girls that have died, apparently, again, this is just based off what Jasmine's told me, because I've not looked at the news and shit, because I don't want to. Other than, well, this part of the news anyway. A Muslim guy turned up with a machete, apparently, to this vigil for him as well. So, like...
I'd not heard that.
It's only what I've heard. I don't want that to be taken as true or false or whatever, but that's what I'd heard anyway. So so far as I was aware, it was a combo of those two things, as well as all the kind of immigration talk that's happened and things. It's kind of sparked a kind of like, it's not the initially the rioting kind of plans weren't to just attack foreigners. That wasn't the point of it. It was to protest against how immigration's been handled and caused these problems. Now, there's going to be people who want to just target foreigners as well. Yeah. That's like going to happen as a result of that, and that's bad. Like, you don't want people just going around attacking foreigners for being foreigners. That's ridiculous. But not only that, there was a bunch of Muslim protests as well. There's been a lot of Muslim riots recently. I mean, a lot of the people involved in the Hare Hills I think it is in Leeds.
Yeah.
Riots. When you see the footage of them, there's not a white face inside.
Yeah.
And a lot of that community around there are all immigrants and a big Muslim population as well there. And their protests are just against the police and the establishment in general.
Yeah.
And kind of counter-protests against the theory of these original protests happening as well. Yeah. So, what's scary and weird about all of this is the media coverage is all just, it's a bunch of white racist people trying to attack foreigners.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a huge variety of different skin tones and religions and all sorts, attacking a bunch of different type of targets and all sorts of things, because they're all fucking pissed at all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
So, do you know what's? But you can't say that apparently on the news for some reason.
Yeah.
When I have gone online and looked at footage, like phone recorded footage, not just stuff that news channels are willing to publish.
Yeah.
Like kind of an actual variety of what's happened. It doesn't look like the majority of them are white people mobs to me. It looks like, now again, I don't know, and this is not official or saying anything about it. So far as I've seen, there was more big groups of that now. The gate's going again. I don't know if there's another client turning up or what. But it looked like the slightly more of it was big groups of brown people. But you know, I'm not saying anything about that. I don't think that like that means that they've done worse or that, you know, that was the actual story. It might just it very well could just be that I saw different angles of one protest that didn't seem like it to me or something like that. I don't know. But my point being is, just saying a bunch of racists tried to attack some foreigners is really narrow-sighted.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable that they can just put it like that. In particular, I had an argument with someone on Reddit as well about this. In particular, that one in Rotherham, there's someone posted on the Public Freakouts Reddit. It's one of the biggest Reddits there is. Let me see how many. That's 4.7 million followers on this. And someone posted on there saying just footage of the riots there. And because that was a big group of white people, really. In that hotel, there was some posted footage of it and said, rioters in the UK attacking a hotel that's used to house illegal immigrants. That's not quite true. They were attacking the hotel. That is true. But they're not necessarily illegal immigrants. The siren's back. How long is it going to last this time? It's getting louder somehow. It's still here. Still going. They're coming to take me away for saying it's not just a bunch of white people.
This is Keir Starmer, this.
He's coming to get personal. Yeah. He's put his police hat on. So the post said that's what it said, that they were illegal immigrants. Now, the vast majority of the comments under that were getting pissed, saying they're not illegal immigrants, they're asylum seekers. Now, in theory, they're not meant to be illegal immigrants in there necessarily. That whole hotel for a long time has been known to only be allowed to house foreign people.
Yeah.
Paid for by taxpayers. Whether they're illegal immigrants or asylum seekers is a different thing. Now, already, people who pay taxes here, there's a level of like debate as to whether to be happy about that or not.
Yeah.
Not because they don't want those people here necessarily. It's that's coming out of funding that could be used to help all sorts of things. Our country's not exactly doing amazing either.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of people who could really use that money. So that's kind of debatable. So everyone was flaming this post saying, no, they're asylum seekers. And I commented underneath that because, like I say, I'm not going to say why, but I know that situation, that area, a lot better than most. It's not so simple. While most of them are meant to be asylum seekers, it's a disproportionate amount of young men in there. Like, as in, it's only young men basically in there. And there was reports that the news won't show. In fact, not reports. There was pictures, evidence of the people who were in there at the times of the attacks getting the dicks out and going and waving guns, showing we've got fucking guns. Here's my cock. Hello, like. If that's an actual asylum seeker, that's ridiculous behaviour.
Yeah.
If that's an actual asylum seeker, fucking send them back.
Yeah.
Like, how have they got a gun? Like, it don't matter whether it's a fake gun or not.
Yeah.
If you come into this country kind of illegally, I mean, asylum is like, I mean, if your country wasn't at war or something, then it would just straight up be illegal immigration. You know what I mean? So like. There's no way they should even be. I can't come close to a gun, and I live here. So it's like, so it's mad. And so there's that, right? There's other things as well. Like I say, why ain't like the women and children and more vulnerable people coming if they're actually seeking asylum? What's going on there? That's a big kind of debate thing. The other thing is, it's well known that obviously not all of them, but more often than is good, people who are staying in that hotel, these asylum seekers, because it's debatable whether they're actually asylum seekers or not, we don't actually know, but in theory they're supposed to be, they've committed really bad crimes in the area.
Yeah.
There's been weapons, sexual assaults, or at least attempted sexual assaults and things like that. So that's what I kind of said under this post, like, it's not so simple. There's technically supposed to be asylum seekers, but that's debatable. It's like people have been questioning that, and it's not really proven much. And they're committing a lot of crimes that people are, like, I suppose not committing a lot of crimes, but a very high disproportionate amount of crimes that people are not happy with. It's like, if you're seeking asylum, that's not good enough. Come on.
Yeah.
So that, combined with stabbings, machetes happening, and over immigration, it's a lot more complicated than just a bunch of racist people wanting to attack brown folks.
Yeah.
Now, that I also fully condemned attacking the hotel as a result of those people being there and kind of all this, because that's not right to do either. What you should do is write your MP and have peaceful protests towards politicians to have some actual decent border control. That is fair for everyone. Like, trying to burn down a hotel because someone who's brown lives there is not the right thing to do. Even if they're a criminal. Like, even if they actually are a criminal, that's not okay. And I said that in the post as well. Downvoted into oblivion.
Yeah.
How unbelievable is that, though? Like, saying, here's some more context, it's not as simple as you might think, and, there's bad parts of everyone here. So you can, make your own decisions. Downloads into oblivion. And comments underneath it as well were, like, ridiculous. Kind of like acting like you're some sort of devil for just only telling more information. I weren't like, no, these protests, they should be getting them because this has happened. Not at all. Not only that, I got permanently banned from one of the biggest subreddits there is. For giving more context and helping people understand the whole situation. Yeah. It's like, when people say, deep state, they're trying to cover stuff up, got political agenda. It felt like that was happening to me in real time. Like, oh my God. Yeah. It feels like such a clear cut, the media and whoever is influencing that wants to control a certain narrative as a part of this. It feels so much like that's definitely what's happening. Yeah. And it's really bad because all that we're getting now is a bunch of people, and I've seen them all turning. All people are like, there's this meme going round of, like when a big disaster happens and you can mark yourself as safe. People have been sharing this image saying, marked safe from racist idiots smashing up their own town. Yeah. So obviously people are like really against certain bits of the protests and things like that. And it freaks me out because really what started this, and a big part of it, is a genuine, serious conversation that needs to be happening as to why this has riled people up so much and people have felt so passionate and it's caused so much problem.
Well, I'm gonna say something now that I think's gonna fucking burst your tiny mind wide open. It's gonna add maybe another 20 to
You
30.
were leading the right.
No, but I was at the Rotherham one.
Where?
Yeah, I was actually
Why did you
there.
just think it was interesting?
So, what happened was, me and Dad were going shooting, as we usually do on Sundays, and we actually decided, instead of going shooting this time, that we were going to go to a car show.
He normally invites me to those things.
Well, we thought, fuck you, you're not...
I like them.
You're not cool. You're not cool, so... Anyway, we went to this car show. It was alright, there were some cool cars.
Wait, was it on a weekday?
No, it's on a weekend, it was Sunday. But we didn't know if we were going to do that, to be fair. We thought we were probably going to go shooting, but then he brought it up and I thought, well, let's go do that because we can go shooting whenever. So we ended up going to this car show. And then we went to... we decided to get food together, so we went to go get a carvery. And we usually go to a place called The Dam. But we just decided, for no apparent reason, that we're actually going to go to the Dearne Valley Carvery, which, I'm saying this right now,
I know where that is.
It's the best carvery.
It's not.
It is. It's the best one. It's the best one. It's great.
not.
It's awesome.
I can totally see why you
It's
like
perfect.
it. This just to give people context of what. Never trust Judd's opinion on food. I literally offered him a Pringle earlier, and he didn't really want it. I cracked it up a bit on the table, and went, "Oh yeah," and then ate it. Now that I'd like,
Yeah, but
fucked it
I
up
did
a bit.
that as a bit. I did that as...
I saw
did
it
that
in your
for a
eyes.
bit.
You did it as a bit, but then actually I was thinking, I could see it in your brain. You're thinking, yeah, this is better. Your opinion on food
Anyway,
is just, you know it's wrong.
I gotta
as well.
talk about attending a race riot. Hold on a second. So, funnily enough, we actually bumped into an old teacher of ours, Mr. Stainrod.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. He wasn't
Participating as well.
participating. No, he was just at the carver picking something up. So yeah, that was fun.
cool.
Yeah, but anyway, so as we sat there eating his food, me and Dad, and Mr. Stainrod, no, he went. 4 police vans came fucking shooting past the window. And we thought, what the fuck, basically.
Yeah.
But then we kept eating. We didn't really think much of it. So we started setting off home. We're on the way home, and 4 more police vans shoot past, and then a police helicopter goes overhead. So we think, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And we
Well, did you not know it was happening?
No,
Because
well,
it had been like advertised that they were going to do
Yeah.
it on that day. It weren't like a secret.
No, I know. So I didn't know. I'd not seen anything. But as we were sort of getting a bit closer, as we're going past it, and on the way to home, Dad went, "Oh shit! It must be that like big demonstration thing that's happening." And I was like, "What demonstration?" It was like, "Oh, I got a thing pop up on my Facebook saying that today there were going to be a big demonstration like at that Holiday Inn down there. It must have got really out of hand." And then we kept going for a little bit more, and then he went, "You want to see what happened?" And I went, "Yeah." so we quickly...
You know, it's not been the first time that that's happened down there.
Yeah.
I was walking down there once. In fact, no, I weren't getting a carver. It's a bit different. I think I might have been getting a Greggs for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, I was walking past the hotel once, and there was like peaceful protests once. I must have talked about it on the podcast at some point.
I don't know.
But yeah, so it's not even the first time there's been protests. I think it was just a particularly big one because it was said that people were going to protest nationally for this sort of reason.
Yeah.
And because they already kind of do that stuff sometimes anyway they took it further.
Yeah. But anyway, so we had to park a ways off because I think the roads were closed.
I also tried to go to the Greggs that time as well. Again, and had to like go way around and go to a different Greggs.
Yeah.
I weren't about to not have my Greggs. They've got the katsu bacon, Jen. I can't.
Fair enough. Yeah, so we ended up walking around to it, and we actually showed up 2 hours after the main like real sort of fuckery had kicked off, basically.
Because it went on for ages, though.
Yeah, it did. So I think it properly started at 11, and we got there for about like 1 or half 1 or something. So when we got there, this is gonna sound fucking stupid because one, we didn't know how big the whole thing was. Like not just that riot, but like the fact that riots were going off all across the country. We didn't know how big of a thing
I didn't
it was.
realise it were going to be that big.
So
And it was just touted as protests as well.
So when we got there, a bunch of the windows, like up top, up the top sort of levels of the Holiday Inn, had obviously had like some rocks and stuff thrown at them. And then the sort of lower level, like big windows on the corner have been like fully smashed in. So there were some police there, and there were a few people sort of acting like maybe one or two people like acting like
what sort of time
dicks.
was it?
This was like 1 o'clock. Like
I think it kicked off further later then. So I think...
No. So because the main shit happened at 11. And then lasted maybe until like 12 or like a bit later. Then there were this lull, and we showed up in this lull where like the people that were mainly acting like dicks at the beginning had been like forced out by the police. So me and Dad actually got to have a full walk around the Holiday Inn.
Wow.
To like look at the whole thing that they'd done. I even got a picture next to a sign, saying something about like how the BBC covers stuff up and something about Jimmy Savile. I think because they like to throw that in there, don't they?
But they do obviously cover shit. I mean, I've just been talking about that. But I was actually watching Sky. So.
Yeah, here we go. I got a picture of me next.
That's
to...
a good picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anti-British broadcasting since. Can they fix 1922? This one, like...
Yeah, no, it's not written very well. It's not.
Like they did for Sir Jimmy Savile.
Yeah. I think it's BBC Anti-British Broadcasting since 1922. Can they fix this, meaning the hotel, like they did for Sir Jimmy Savile?
I think they mean brushing over the immigration problem.
No, I think they're trying to be smart. I think they're trying to kind of fix this.
I don't, Judd. We've just looked at how they've written that sentence.
Here's them setting a generator on fire.
Oh,
yeah. But
so I saw pictures of that being. They fixed everything really quick. By the way, I saw pictures of like the next day it was all fixed. I saw pictures of like replaced fence panels and how much of the fences around the area that they'd ripped off to throw at police and stuff. So we managed to get round and have a look at like the whole hotel and everything. And again, like I was gonna say, this is gonna sound fucking stupid because of what it actually ended up being. But I saw the damage, like the smashed windows, and there was like a bin that had melted from being on fire. And I honestly thought, this has been like 20 or 30 guys, This is like a bit like like a large group of like friends who are like dickheads of like showing up like started like smashing and burning stuff, and then police have shown up and scared them off, and because I got there and there was nothing going on. There was people around, but they were being nosy like me and Dad. So nothing was going on. Then out of nowhere, pretty much after us walking around for about 20 minutes. Like another wave of actual rioters just showed up. Like they respawned. It was so fucking weird. Like in Call of Duty Zombies.
And so they all like started pouring out, being like, "Way!" and then the police came out and then started forcing them back. And it like just started like it started building up again out of nowhere. Like there ended up being more like 100 people actively rioting while we were there, but there was
no like grass that had been set on fire or anything at that point, was there? Or
there weren't grass that had been set on fire. No, what they did when we were there is they set the generator on fire.
So that's the second wave that you saw come.
Yeah, this second wave has set the generator on fire. They've torn
quite a lot.
Yeah, they've torn all that paneling off that he was saying that they threw at the police.
There was more than just that.
Yeah,
they tore more fences up and threw them at police.
Yeah, but So what I'm saying is that we did see them do that. Then at one point the police started moving in, and then we had to leave because it was like we didn't want to get in the way of the police doing something, and we didn't want to get in the way of the rioters who were obviously very hard at work. so we left. But yeah, it was wild. It was pretty fucking wild. You know, I didn't go there in support of it. I went there like, what the fuck is going on?
You literally didn't even know it was happening.
No,
I
didn't.
Found yourself
yeah,
there.
because yeah, like I say, I wouldn't get a notification for any of this shit going on, would I? It's like, and I don't even really use Facebook anyway. So like, I just saw like police and smoke in the distance. I was like, I want to go look at what's happening. I like fire.
Well, Jasmine told me that it was happening in the morning, and she said, "Oh, you know, when we go out today, just might have to be a bit mindful of these riots that are happening."
Yeah.
And because I'm always just dealing with shit, I thought, fucking hell. Of course, like, we're supposed to just be having a nice pottery day. We were going to a pottery studio to make some pots and paint some pots. It's what I got Jasmine for a birthday.
Okay, yeah.
I thought, all we're trying to do today is do some fucking pottery, and I have to deal with race riots. Come on, when am I going to get a break here? But it was actually a pretty good activity to be doing while the race riots was going on, because we could just hide in this little pottery studio.
And then you went, wait a second, this clay's brown.
Oh god!
But so I was at a race riot. I fucking attended a race riot. And I won't go to another one, because once you've been to one race riot, you've been to them all. You've been to them all.
I'm not surprised you just found yourself there, to be fair.
It felt like a GTA mission. It was just like, I'm in this now. Like, this is a bit I'm going to deal with.
Oh, God.
But yeah.
What is going on? Like, come on. Like, Mr. Beast Chris is a paedophile and he's harboured a racist. There's race wars going on. There's like it just
the Borderlands movie's just come out.
That's probably the worst.
Yeah,
bit.
and that's actually why the riots are going on right now. Is because that fucking movie's come out. It's got nothing to do with race or anything.
We almost did another flip a coin to see if we were going to watch a movie instead of doing the podcast again, and then we realised that'd mean giving money to the people who decided to make that monstrosity of a movie.
I'm not giving Eli Roth a fucking penny. I'm not giving him a penny.
Yeah, I am not going to support that.
Yeah.
No.
No way.
Yeah. I'll
It has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes right
already.
Now. Yeah. As of right now, it has a 0%.
Let's just do it quick.
Or it did earlier. I don't know if it still has it right now, but
let's have a quick. Whenever it says Kate Blanchett.
Oh, 3%. 3%.
Oh.
We've got 33 reviews are in, and it has got a 3%.
Let me. Who of these critics has actually recommended this?
Grace Randolph.
Fuck you, Grace Randolph. I've never played the games, but I got a kick out of Blanchett starring in a movie like this and doing a great job. I do wish the script had been adjusted a bit better to accommodate her age. Blanchett fans will enjoy this. Not sure about anyone else. Recommended.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing? She's only done that so that people will read that review.
Yeah.
Not a chance. I want to find the other ones because there's got to be like
no,
two.
she's the only one. She's the only one.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
And that's not actually recommendation. That's just saying, Kate Blanchett, ooh, let me just lick her out for a bit. Fuck off. Ridiculous.
I like. Hold on, wait. Go back down. I like Shaquille Lambert, who says it all just looks like celebrities participating in a Borderlands themed escape room instead of an actual movie.
I like William Babiani, who looks like that Warhammer player meme from.
Oh yeah.
From, not Warhammer. World of Warcraft player from. South
the
Park.
guy like leaning in the chair. Yeah. He says the biggest problem with Eli Roth's Borderlands isn't that it's bad, it's that it's not interesting enough to be bad. It's mass-produced. What? That's a big... That's a word that guy would use to seem smart.
His last name is Bibiani.
Bibiani.
Every time I go to say it, I have to think a bit before to be like, what is it? Yeah. I think probably Matt Donato looks like the coolest guy doing this. And Nick Shager looks like... Mark Zuckerberg.
Matt Donato says that Borderlands is a catastrophic disappointment that plays like hacked-to-death piece of studio slop, betraying everything fans adore about Gearbox Software's franchise in derivative, regrettable fashion. That sounds right. That sounds about right.
Do you know what's great about this? Sometimes there'll be a trailer for something and people are hyped for it, and we'll do a podcast and we'll discuss, oh, this is coming out, and we'll be like, but I don't think it's going to be good.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we're pretty good at getting a sense of that, actually. This was not that. This was, that's going to be terrible, and everyone knows it, and it is.
Everybody, was on board as well. Everybody universally looked at this and went, this looks fucking terrible.
How did he not can it?
I know. Even Dad and his girlfriend Natalie saw this and saw it in the... didn't see the movie, but saw the trailer, and they were like, this looked fucking terrible.
Surely, they would have made more by writing it off.
Yeah.
Just a tax write-off would have been better, surely. But maybe not, because they've hired this they've paid a shit ton for all these actors now. Kate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Jamie Lee Curtis, they can't be cheap. Even hold on. People like Florian
I'm just going to start pointing at people in the cast. Too old, too small, too old, too old, too old, too skinny and not too muscular.
Just not the voice actor for Claptrap, I would say.
Why? Just get... Why is...
the guy who does it?
Why is General Knox a girl?
No way. No way!
What do you mean, no way,
They've even done the, hated gender swap thing, too.
Yeah. I'm pretty right in thinking that Knox was the guy from the first one, General Knox Borderlands. Yeah, he's that guy. That's who I thought Knox was, yeah.
That's spoilers, by the way. I wish I'd have seen that in the cinema to meditate. Oh my god, I can't believe that they did that shit as well.
Yeah.
It's like someone's cruel joke of trying to mess it.
Oh, look, there she is! There she is! She looks like she's in the old Star Trek, like the original Star Trek. Or a music video that's parodying Star Trek is what she looks like she's in right now. No, but that's a real movie that she's in right now.
Do you know what? I bet the effects and the sets and stuff look great. And it won't matter in a single bit. I can't... That shocked me, that. Honestly...
Why? How is it shocked it?
Because I just didn't think that they would do even more.
No, they did it. They've done the whole thing. Think of every, terrible thing that a movie could do, and this movie has fucking done it. They managed to do it all.
Wow.
That's where the 0% comes from. It's purely
Bobby
hated.
Lee's in it.
Bobby Lee! No!
God.
Wait a second. So everybody else is too old, apart from Hammerlock, who, by the looks of this, is probably too young. Great.
They've done race swap as well.
Where?
Hammerlock.
No, Hammerlock was black.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. He wasn't that black, but he was black.
No, he wasn't.
He was. He's
like white British.
No, he's black. Look, he's like
like
black British. You know, I don't even say he's British. I think he's just posh.
My game did not look like this.
Yeah, he's black.
I swear, honestly.
He's always been black. I guess he's not that black, but he is black.
I feel like I need to boot up Borderlands 2 again.
You've had a fucking...
this is what I remember him looking like. It's a cosplay that we're looking at right now of a white guy playing Hammerlock. Which, by the way...
What looks fantastic? What looks better than anything that the movie incredible. That will fucking... Yeah.
And also feel like he could get in trouble for that for some reason. Blackface, by the way.
No, he hasn't done blackface.
I know,
He's whitefaced it.
Is blackface bad?
If
you want to...
I have a picture
cosplaying a character?
I have a picture.
Don't tell me you've got a picture of you in blackface.
No, I have a picture of my granddad in blackface. When it was the style, when it was the style of the time.
When it was the style of the time. Oh, I guess he is then.
Yeah, he's black. Yeah, he's always been black.
That surprises me. Okay, fine. That's not so bad then. But I honestly thought they'd gone for like
No,
the
but
Trinity.
they have no, but I mean they have still, because where is she? Where's Knox? Cause I mean well actually no, she's white. I thought she was a bit black.
She kind of
Yeah.
did look it a bit in the Knox pictures, I guess, but
Moxie, too old and not hot. That's like no. But the thing is, it's like that's like one of her main traits is that she's like a bombshell.
You can't just say not hot.
But that's the thing.
No, Judd,
That's literally the thing with Moxie.
This is an incredibly attractive woman.
No.
And I know she's like older now.
No, she's
but
not. She's got the Starlight
sorry.
treatment on. She used to be hot. Maybe if it was like 30-year-old her.
I know what you mean. Calm down. I know what you mean. I know what you mean with the Starlight treatment. I don't like that.
She's
but this
melted.
is still an incredibly attractive woman. And it's
No, too old.
How old do you think Moxie's meant to be?
She's like 30 or 40. No, she's
40 feels like it could be a bit of a
she's,
stretch.
She's 40, maybe early 50s, because Ellie's her daughter and Ellie's about 20 something. So she's probably 50 something.
How old is Moxie Borderlands?
52.
52?
Yeah, because Scooter and Ellie are kids, and they're like
See,
20 something.
She looks too young in the games then. Like, you can look like a sexy older lady. You know, like a cougar. She should look more like a cougar in the games, if she's meant to be that old.
Don't say Cougar Moxie, because I will get hard on. But anyway, still too old. There's like 7 characters in the movie that are like 60 years old, when the characters they're portraying are like 10 to 30 years younger than them. Like Kate Blanche. How old is Lilith? 20-something.
Lilith Borderlands.
And it's the first one. 27.
27 in Borderlands 2. And that's set 5 years after the original.
So she's 22 in the first. Yeah.
So Kate Blanchett's meant to be 22.
Yeah. She's like 58, I think. 55. She's 55. I know. She's literally more than
33
double.
years older
I know.
than she should be. How many like good unknown actresses are out there?
Do you want to see something even funnier? How old is Tannis in Borderlands?
How old is Tannis Borderlands? It's unknown, but somewhere in her 30s.
Okay.
But I suppose it's debatable.
Yeah, go back to the cast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis, 65.
So similar sort of age difference there, 35-ish.
What the fuck are you
maybe
doing?
only 30.
How old is Tiny Tina in Borderlands 2? 13. Or 12, I think.
Tiny Tina's not even in Borderlands 1.
No, she's not. She's in the second one. Neither is Krieg.
And Krieg's not really a big part of the proper story.
No. No, it's not.
This is terrible, dude. This is terrible.
They put him in the movie because they're gonna do the whole Krieg is Tiny Tina's dad thing, and it's gonna be so fucking forced because you're gonna have this whole like character arc and thing like shoved into an hour and a half thing. Which, by the way, 45 minutes of the movie still needs to be Kevin Hart being funny. So it's like
as the stone-faced militant guy.
Yeah. As the stone face, emotionally dead, PTSD riddled corporate war lackey. There we go. Great.
Aren't I small, guys?
Aren't I small? Hey, Jack Black, ain't I small? And then Jack Black says, Kyle Gass said something about Trump's assassination at the show, so I cancelled the tour, and now the band will never get back together or something.
Oh,
Yay!
Man, Chud, we are living in the bad timeline.
It is the worst fucking timeline.
I'm so excited to see that film. It's gonna be so funny how bad it is. We've got to watch it together. You've got to wait to watch it with me. I'll access a version of it.
I think
at some
Tom
point.
wants to watch it as well.
Well, save it to watch with me for the first time.
Okay,
I'm calling dibs.
Okay.
If we really need, Tom can come round as
Yeah.
well. But oh god, well, I guess that's a podcast.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week probably for 236. So there'll be 15 more podcasts.
Yeah.
including the big special 250. That's it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
The only it might be temporary, probably won't be, unless for some reason we get an influx of adoring fans, and then maybe we'll change his mind. Now they have to do it. No, it's not gonna happen. Anyway, right. Bye, internet.
Bye bye.